the father, they rape the brother, they rape the sister, they rape the auntie, they rape the tanty, they rob you of all your jewel, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm, and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased, and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. It come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on Saieed. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. It's the weekend right here in Trinidad and Tobago, Friday, the 18th of October. But nevertheless, we thank God for the weekend. We thank God it's Friday. We thank God that 1 week has finished in October. We are closer to Christmas. We are closer to Diwali. And we are closer to some other holidays coming up in Trinidad and Tobago. But nevertheless, they say give God thanks in the good times and the bad times. I always say thank you, Lord, every morning. So while saying thank you, Lord, I just want you to remember this. Real Talk Financing is giving you 4% on a fixed deposit. Thank God for that. Why should you say thank God? I'll tell you this. We are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that has an upfront interest payment on fixed deposit. Said, what do you mean by upfront interest payment? Okay, listen to me. If you invest $50,000 or $100,000 or $20,000 or $300,000-$400,000 on a fixed deposit with Real Talk, you are going to get your interest upfront. Meaning, if you open a fixed deposit for 5, 10, 15 years, right? So instead of waiting for 5, 10, and 15 years for it to mature, Real Talk has come up with the idea to give you your interest payment up front. I will tell you this, no other financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is going to do that. None. But you know what? When God make you a leader, He will give you ideas, He will give you visions, and He will clear your pathway so you will always be successful. Always keep God in front of what you do, and you will be successful. So we at Real Talk here, we are giving you your interest up front on your fixed deposit. So you don't have to wait for the maturity date. If you invest $100,000 for 5 years, that's $20,000 interest in 5 years' time. Once your check is clear and everything is okay, we are going to call you into our office and we're going to write out a check for you for $20,000 in a matter of days. That is interest up front. If you invest $200,000 for 5 years, that's $40,000 at the end of 5 years. So what are we going to do? Once your check is cleared, we're going to call you to come into our office and we're going to sign a check for you for $40,000 up front. Imagine that. Imagine you don't have to wait 5 and 10 years, 20 years. You don't have to. We at Real Talk, we're going to make sure that your interest is up front. So you could go for a vacation. You don't have to wait for 5 and 10 years to go for a vacation when you collect the interest from some other financial institution. No. You're getting your interest up front. It's cleared. You go for a vacation. You put away money. You could even invest back in Real Talk Credit Union. Open a savings account, viewers. Plant a seed today and reap the benefits in the years to come. Now, old people used to say, if you plant an okra tree today, in 2 months' time, you will be reaping okra from the tree. You plant a seed in Real Talk Credit Union, you open an account. Later on, a couple of years from now, you could be able to take a loan. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I am Saieed. I am the president of Real Talk Credit Union. Thank God for the position. I thank God for... keep in mind, we are a licensed credit union. Keep that in mind. Once upon a time, we were information. When we applied, we are Real Talk Credit Union now. So viewers, I do want to say thank you for joining us tonight as we get started with our program. Caribbean Airline pilots have been left wondering how long they will continue to be ignored as 3 days have passed since delivered a letter to the Ministry of Finance. Through the TT Airline Pilot Association concerning a proposal on a 9-year-old collective agreement, but still have not gotten a response. Industrial Relations Consultant Timothy Bailey explained that they really want to know what is going on, given that this is a serious job and they are not being taken seriously. So Trinidad and Tobago, you know why they are not being taken seriously? I'll tell you this. You see, if all the pilots just decide, you know what, we down in tools today, that will have a crippling effect on the airline. And there will be no taxes being paid to the Ministry of Finance, neither central bank. And there is where Colin Imbert is going to take all this serious. Now, recently gone by a couple of weeks ago, the pilots and them who were off duty, probably about 20, 30 of them, they are the ones that held the protest. While the others who were on duty, they were flying planes and servicing Caribbean Airlines and servicing other destinations through our airport. But you know what? Frankenberg will say, you know what, if these officers and them who off duty decide to say, you know what, about 20 of them striking, forget the 40 of them who went to work and we go forget everything. That's it. So what the pilot in Trinidad and Tobago have to do now is down tools. Forget who go in, forget who come in. You want a betterment? Stand up for your rights. So if the airline cannot leave Trinidad to go to their destination, Caribbean Airline lose. Taxes will not be paid. Passengers will not leave at the appointed time. You know why? Because the pilot decided to say, you know what? We're striking today and we're striking today. But is either you heard our call or you don't. And that's it. Now all those pilots you've seen there, they were off duty that day. Keep in mind, that handful were off duty. Plane were coming and going as normal. Pilots from Trinidad went to work as normal. I tell all in this country, when you're keeping a protest, keep it for 2-3 days. When you want to get the attention of the heads, keep it for 2-3 days. Strike down tools. When you know you're going to do that, put aside some savings for the week, so you're sure if you do not go to work the week, you have your backup. You have your backup. No, them as pilots. Them as pilots. You think it's easy to jump in a plane and reach 10,000 feet up in the air and our engine malfunction? Or you think that's easy? No, that's not easy, you know. That's not easy. It's very risky. That is one of the most risky jobs. And I think police risky? Nah, pilot more risky. Because as you leave the landing strip, you could fall back down. And that is it. That's it right in a matter of 10 minutes. Boom, that is it. Some funeral agency getting your body to bury. So for the Pilot Association, if you all want the Ministry of Finance to hear all you, if you all want Klongenberg to hear all your plea, shut down the airport. Nothing going, nothing coming. Stage all a protest. Whether you're off duty or you're on duty, don't do anything but get together, get your lawyer, and come out and protest. It's the simplest thing. That is when Klongenberg is going to hear all your cry, because you know why? There is revenue for the central bank when the airport is functioning. When the airport is not functioning, nobody makes money. It's easy like that. Okay, good. That's the Airport Association, the Pilot Association. What about now? We have the union leaders in Trinidad. We have a couple of union leaders in Trinidad. Who are they for? Who are they for? They are the ones that could cause hundreds of thousands of workers to strike, to down tools, to make sure the government hear them. But what are they doing? You tell me what they're doing. Tell me what they're doing. They're just there. They are just there. Just now, electricity going up, water going up, cost of living going up. When electricity goes up, the gas station owner will let LP know, you know what? Gas is, electricity going up, so I have to make more money in gas. Technically, gas will go up again. It will go up. Anytime electricity goes up, gas going up, water going up, The grocery man will add on more price on the grocery because you know why? It will cost more money now in electricity to have the grocery running. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. One entity could have a rippling effect in our country, and you're not understanding that. You're not understanding that, and that is what you need to understand. So if the Pilot Association in Trinidad and Tobago wants Clunging Boat to hear all your play, dung tools, 50 of them can't strike, while we have 50 of them coming and going to work. No, it don't work like that. And I keep telling all you that. The first time all the strike, I told all of the same thing. You want a betterment? Dung tools. Stop the airline from lifting. Let passengers remain right there, and you'll see how fast. You will see how fast Clunging Boat will come to agreement with all you. Why? I'm going to tell you something. It's an easy thing. It's simple, you know. It's very simple. Pilot Association, here we go. Next week, all week we're striking until Clunging Boat sit with us, form an agreement, then we're going to work. All that jokey. All that very, very jokey. No wonder why, but I want to hear that mouth all you. No wonder why. And let me tell you something. You are a pilot. You have a pilot license. You could go in any country, English-speaking country in the world, and get a job. For God and heaven's sake, man, all is pilots. All you is pilots. All again work any part of the world. You know, Trinidad and Tobago, it is so sad that we as a human who have a license and our mind is like the tip of a match grain. We cannot think broader than the top of a match grain. But then again, common sense is a serious thing. Common sense will put book sense to rest. Already know that? Oh gosh, come now, man, Trinidad and Tobago. It's sad. So my words to the Caribbean airline pilots, or to pilots in Trinidad and Tobago, decide for 1 week straight. Here what's going on. We're working on a contract that is nine years old. No collective agreement. No negotiation. Monday to Friday, we're not going to work and done with that. If they fire we, they fire we. Because I ain't going to raise a plane. And we had to land with an emergency. And only a benefit nothing. Better let's stay home and see about all your wife and children. It will pay you better. Go for a vacation. Yes. Oh, I can tell you. In Trinidad, we have plenty more and no action. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to hear Young Escape Privileges Committee. Young had to say thank God, you know. Yep. After this.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
throws you a curveball. And you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk. Remember, I am encouraging you, you want to make more money on your fixed deposit. The only way to make more money is right here at Real Talk. Real Talk Financing, where we offer you 4% on our fixed deposit. Remember, viewers, you're not going to get a 3 months payment, you're not going to get a 6 months payment, or you're not going to get a 1 year payment. You're getting all your interest up front in a couple of days after you sign up a fixed deposit with Real Talk. Remember that, viewers. We are the only one doing that. For those of you that are having spiritual problem, remember, I'm a spiritual consultant. I was blessed to be one. So you can always contact me, viewers. Our numbers will be on screen shortly. So if you decide to open a fixed deposit, you decide to open a credit union account, or you decide to contact Saieed, this is our numbers on screen, viewers. Save all numbers to get in touch with our central office, our loan center, credit union north and south. So viewers, remember that. So, Young Escape Privileges Committee. Minister of Energy Stuart Young has escaped being sent to the Privilege Committee by apologizing to MPs and his constituencies on October 17th in the House of Representatives for his recent crosstalk. Earlier, House Speaker Bridget Anderson George had strongly condemned Young's remarks, describing the remarks as despicable and distasteful. Anderson George urged MPs to refrain from making nasty comments and ruled that the member for Port of Spain North St. Anne's West withdrew his insulting language and apologized to the House. David Lee, moving his motion, said Young had suggested opposition MP member engage in immoral activities and urged Young be sent to the Privilege Committee. Listen to this.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to proffer this personal explanation pursuant to Standing Order 23. Mr. Deputy Speaker, during the budget debate proceedings last Thursday, 10th of October 2024, at a point where there was a change taking place in the chair and the majority of members of the opposition were preparing to exit the chamber, I uttered words sotto voce, which included colloquial terms that were unparliamentary. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I take full responsibility for my actions and utterances and would like to record my humblest apology to the House, the members of the House, and to the population whom I represent for my indiscretion and the ensuing disturbance that my words have caused. I assure you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and those that I am privileged to represent, that it is never my intention to bring odium to this august House and the Parliament, which I will always do my best to protect. In the circumstances, I withdraw the unparliamentary language, and I ask that my unreserved apology for the said utterances be recorded, and I conclude by reaffirming my commitment to the Parliament and the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you.
So, Miss Deputy Speaker, is there going to be some sort of community service? I'm just saying, community service to let every member of the House of Representatives understands that when you make statements like these, even though you apologize to the House and to the nation, you have to do some sort of community service. So that, in a way, would let other MPs know when you disrespect the House, that is what you're going to get, even though you apologize. Are you going to set an example? Now, I want you to understand something, Bridget and St. George. I want you to understand something. You are seated in a very important chair in Trinidad and Tobago. You have in front of you ministers that represent the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. You have in front of you MPs that governs department portfolios. You have in front of you individuals that represent Trinidad and Tobago on a larger and wider scale. So, Madam Chair, are you going to set an example? Are you going to set an example? Deputy Speaker, Chair, Mr., Mrs., anyhow, any one of them. I want you to understand something. You see what, when you hear juvenile, when they catch a juvenile thiefing, what that is do? Sometimes you go YDC, or it all depends on your crime, they will put you through community service. So they would understand, whenever this incident happen, you're going to do community service where you're going to be let down. Yes? You're going to be let down. So now, you're not going to go back there again to let down your family with community service. Now, are these big hardback MPs that represent Trinidad and Tobago, is there going to be a lesson for them to learn from this? Or is it that some other MPs going to use slandering word in the House again and an apology will fix it nice? No barrier setting. Just an apology and that is it. I want you to understand something, Bridget. I get a feedback from Olena. I want you to understand something, Bridget. When he uttered words that not supposed to speak in the House, he also disrespect you as a woman. He also disrespected you as the head of the chair. He also disrespected you as a female who holding a very high position. You didn't realize that? Sad, yes? Now listen to this other video.
I have considered the circumstances surrounding the matters raised before me today, and I have also examined the personal explanation made by the Honourable Member for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, earlier in today's proceedings. As we all heard, the member has unreservedly apologized for his behavior and withdrawn his unparliamentary comments. By apologizing, the minister has demonstrated remorse for his comments, reaffirmed his commitment to the values and norms which obtain in this House, and rejected his previous behavior which fell far beneath what is expected as a member of Parliament. Honourable members, I am sure you will agree with me that it would be beneath the dignity of this House not to accept the apology of the Honourable Member for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West. I therefore rule that the matter referred to me by the Member for Pointe-à-Pied does not warrant any further action by this House or its Privileges Committee. I take this opportunity to once again call on all members to uphold the dignity of this House and conduct the nation's business in a manner benefit their station. I so rule.
It's that simple. You degrade a woman in Parliament, you say what you had to say, the chair forgive you, and you move on. No example set. Hey, watch me now. We have some jokey leaders in this country, you know. Take what I'm telling you. Some jokey leaders. You know who I haven't heard as yet? The Strong Women's League of the PNM. But then say what? That was like feathers on the neck side. As the breeze blow the bend. As the breeze blow the bend. So we're moving down to Hines. Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, has placed some blame on the public as a murder count has crossed 500. This is the same. This is the same Minister of National Security who said to Trinidad and Tobago, it is not my job to make you feel safe. But now he's blaming the citizens. Ooh. It's sad, boy. 1 minute the tongue for Trinidad against Trinidad and Tobago, 1 minute the same tongue blaming us. Make up your mind. Hines and the Minister in the Ministry of National Security, Keith Scotland, have faced criticism for the escalating crime rate, which hits the grim milestone on Tuesday. Experts are now predicting a record of 650 murders by year end. Listen to this video.
It is the very public of Trinidad and Tobago, and on a few exceptions, who are responsible for the violence of which we all complain. So the very society that is affected by it, it is the very society that has produced and nurtured the children and those others who are perpetrating the levels of violence that you raise with me now, reflecting in 500 murders.
Minister Brian Manning also dismissed opposition criticism of Hines and Scotland. He said, the opposition have been on no assistance to supporting national security and police bills introduced in Parliament. Hold on. So Manning wants to blame the opposition for not supporting bills, police bills passing in Parliament. So I want to ask Manning, what is the job of the Minister of National Security? I want to ask Manning, what is the job of the Commissioner of Police? I want to ask Brian Manning that. As a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and as a businessman in Trinidad and Tobago, and as a father in Trinidad and Tobago, what is the role of the Commissioner? To dress up in a khaki suit and patrol Trinidad and Tobago? And just say, hi, how are you going? That's her job? Or her job is to come up with strategies and execute them with her officers to dent crime and criminal activity in Trinidad and Tobago. Isn't that not her job? This is why people are going to call in and say, Saieed, you're bashing. I will bash them. I will push them in a corner with a back reach against a wall. You know what is my job being on television? My job is to bring the latest news to you. My job is to bring everything that's happening in Trinidad and Tobago to you. My job is to bring the current events in Trinidad and Tobago to you. That is my job. I understand who I am. I understand my job. I understand what the program on TV is about. You know what your job is as a citizen? To watch Real Talk, understand what's going on in your country, and how best we can get over this that is happening, or how best we can get a solution for what is happening in our country. I didn't come here to brag, you know. I come here to let you know what's going on and how we could fix it. I didn't come to brag. I didn't come to tell you, well, you know, we had 10 murders yesterday. No, I didn't come to tell you that. I come to tell you, here what's going on. We had 10 murders, we need to fix it. How we fixing it? Random raids in the community. Get rid of the illegal gun, get rid of the marijuana, get rid of the cocaine, get rid of the prostitution. Intelligence unit. Every station in Trinidad and Tobago has an intelligence unit that gathers information. When they get the information, what do you do with it? How do you execute it? Hey, you know that drug man is my partner, we can't touch him. That's how you execute it? I tell Alia, watch me. All of this can't come wrong me, you know. Listen to this next video.
They have been trying to prevent us from implementing various multiple national security and police bills that we have been attempting to introduce here in the Parliament. They have been of no assistance, no help, and then when things aren't going the way that we would like, they complain.
How often do we hear of Brian Manning? How often? How often do we hear other MPs in the Parliament? So what happened to our opposition? Where is the UNC in all this crime and criminal activity that is increasing in Trinidad and Tobago? Where's the opposition? The opposition have lawyers, they have doctors, they have teachers. Where all of them going? They have prominent businessmen. Where all of them there? Who are they fighting for? An increase in salary, an increase in pension? What about you, the citizens? Only on voting day, there is no all there. Listen to this next video.
Keith Rowley cannot take charge of this country. Minister Hines has been an abject failure as a Minister of National Security, and Keith Scotland has made no difference.
If F is a failing grade, I would grade both of the ministers and the head of the National Security Council, who is the Prime Minister, with a Z. I don't think that we can get lower than Z.
Trinidad and Tobago, I want to let you understand something. I was a victim of crime. What crime? A couple years back, about almost 3.5 years ago, I will always say this, they made an attempt to kidnap my son 3 minutes from home. 10 minutes from home. 10 minutes from home. A couple years back. And my son stood inside for months before he actually came outside. For months. You know what they call that? They tried to extort money from me by making an attempt to kidnap my son. But God don't sleep. 3 blind, 1 dead. 3 blind, 1 dead. And I will always say this. The good Lord hand is upon me. And the work I do. So that's why on television, I just tell any bandit, all I want to come to, not a problem. But just know who you're coming after. Find out about the individual who you want to attack. Know who I am. Know what I do. Because I would not hesitate and would not think twice and would not have any remorse when you end up blind and not on that chair. Or you end up like this and can't move. Or you're like that and you can't move. Trust me. I will do it willfully. Willfully, willfully, willfully. You see just how you willfully come in? Just I will willfully shut you down. And I will hear some good mother saying, "That's a good son, you know." When he like that, he twists up on a bed and can't move. "That's a good son, look what they do to him." So mommy and daddy, you didn't know he was planning to come outside? That is what he get for coming at me. 3 blind, 1 dead. And I'd like to remind society that. So viewers, we're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, the Commissioner of Police take action to rebuild trust from police officers to hand in all the tactical gears. More on this after this break.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So Trinidad and Tobago, Commissioner of Police, Earl Haywood Christopher, has issued a very stern advisory to all police officers saying they will need to hand in their tactical clothing before October 23rd and revert to the traditional grey shirt and blue pants with immediate effect. Listen to this.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has taken a stance because we recognize that the lives of our citizens are at stake. And the Commissioner has issued this advisory to inform that from tomorrow, all officers in the division and branches are to be in patrol order number 3. That is basically the gray and blue. Additionally, divisional commanders are to ensure that all tactical items of kit must be returned to the police quartermaster stores by Wednesday, the 23rd of October, 2024. Failure to comply will result in the appropriate disciplinary actions being taken. This measure is implemented to maintain the integrity of our uniform service and to ensure public safety and security.
So Trinidad and Tobago, hear how cheap this offense is, eh? Hear how cheap this offense is. If a person is found pretending to be a police officer or any person seeking to use the police uniform, that person will be fined, once found guilty, of $30,000 and imprisonment for up to 3 years. Now listen to this shit. I mean this crap.
The Police Service Act, Section 62, clearly states that if a person is found pretending to be a police officer or for any purpose seeking to use the police uniform, that person commits an offense. And that person, on summary conviction, would be fined, one found guilty, at least $30,000 or imprisonment for 3 years.
So Trinidad and Tobago, if you found impersonating a police officer, if found guilty, they catch you with a uniform, you know, say about and if found guilty, $30,000. $30,000. Imagine when you impersonate an officer and you walk in a man's house and you take $50,000 that is not yours, but you want to charge that man now $30,000 when he reach in front of a judge. Police service good in Trinidad and Tobago, yes? They're real good. Commissioner of Police Earl Haywood Christopher have issued a stern warning, a stern warning. Nevertheless, we move on to energy. Minister of Energy Stuart Young has expressed confidence that Trinidad and Tobago will recover the majority of money spent on Tobago oil spill. Young said the government has been successfully in its application to International Oil Pollution Compensation Fund, a United Kingdom-based agency. And now listen to this.
Yes, under this particular line item, that was with respect to the unfortunate oil spill in Tobago, which took place in February of this year.
So do we still have, so that exorbitant amount was due to the...
Covering the expenses associated with the cleanup of the oil spill and containing the oil spill.
And is there other still expenses owed, because that's why you have a allocation of 85?
Correct. There's some expenses that are still owed, but fortunately we were successful in our submission to the IOPC earlier this year, I think in April of this year, and they have agreed to cover all of the reasonable and legitimate costs coming out of that oil spill, and that process has begun. In fact, we should be heading back up to the IOPC in November for further engagement with them, but they were here up to a few days ago, and that process is going well in terms of the country receiving reimbursement for the cost of the oil associated with the oil spill.
So Trinidad and Tobago, it cost the government approximately $50 million associated with the cleanup efforts. Now, moving a little fast track, in response to Lee's question on whether the expense for the oil spill will be recovered, Young said that the hope, or their hope, is that the vast majority would be recovered for taxpayers. So it's taxpayers' money spent, and Young is hoping now, with this New Kingdom-based agency, we will recover almost $50 million. Listen to Young.
So is it fair to say that these expenses that have been spent would be recovered?
I certainly hope that the vast majority of them will be recovered for the taxpayers, yes.
Thank you.
So viewers, $50 million, no one's fault that the badge turned over, caused a lot of heartache in Tobago. The government spent $50 million on that. Let's hope that we are able to recover now $50 million that was spent. Let's hope that Young is successful in this bid. That's all I can say. Too much money is going missing, is being spent, and there is no production, no growth, no sustainability, no expansion in Trinidad and Tobago. A population of 1.4 million people, a little 2x2 country, was once the little Dubai in the Caribbean. Today we are getting like Haiti. Because every year go by, and every time a budget is read in Trinidad and Tobago, you have to put 2 hole more in your belt. Prime Minister said, tighten your belt for hard times up ahead, and he got $50 million to spend on entertainment. Imagine that. While they're cutting here, and they're cutting there, and they're altering here in all different ministries. $50 million allocated for entertainment, wine, dine, jam, travel, eat, expense on taxpayers. What do we get? Nada. What do we get? Zero. What do we get? No performance, no production in our country. And we okay with that. Sad from Somalia, yes? Nevertheless, we're moving along. In June, the Minister of Finance, Clongenberg, noted that the Tobago House of Assembly requested $153 million for the cleanup exercise arising out of the oil spill in Tobago. He explained the increase in allocation to the THA by $50 million. Listen to this.
Clarity, we did not ask the THA to give us full justification for the $50 million we spent to them, okay? That was just a global estimate based on an assessment of what we thought an initial release of funds should be. But we don't get involved in the adjudication of claims. We are simply a conduit for the release of funds. So it is not for me to say whether they are outstanding claims or not. I have to receive that information from the THA, and I have not yet received the documentation that I asked for from the Finance Secretary with respect to additional claims that were not covered by the $50 million. What I would also say, I saw complaints in Tobago from certain fishermen groups that said, look, they didn't receive any money. That is not our responsibility. We sent the THA $50 million. It's up to the THA to decide what to do with that $50 million. They could have paid contractors that were employed to clean up the oil. They could have paid fishermen. That is their responsibility. My responsibility is simply to be a conduit for funds. I don't get involved in the adjudication of these claims, okay, because of the separation of authority between Trinidad and Tobago, all right? I just provide money to the THA and support them as best as I can.
His job is accountability for funds. $3 billion gone missing and no accountability. I will steady remind you, Trinidad and Tobago. I will steady remind you, because my taxpayers' money was that in that $3 billion gone missing. Yours too. Yours too. Imbert. Energy Minister Stuart Young says the fishermen can make individual claims to the International Oil Pollution Compensation Funds. And how long that will take? About 10 years to get? Listen to this.
The IOPC has appointed a claims manager in Trinidad. That claims manager's representatives went to Tobago. I believe it may have also been in collaboration with, or at least the consent of, members of the THA. And they have indicated to the fishermen the process, because the fishermen may also be able to make their own independent claims, independent of the THA and the government. The IOPC is an international body that deals with thousands of these types of claims across the world. In fact, when
let's just hope that the fishermen in Tobago do pick up the opportunity, go send in a file, voice their complaint, get a lawyer, and see how best they can recover monies that they had to spend for engine and boats and net, things like this. Moving along, viewers, the Minister of Finance, Clongenberg, has revealed that 4 new mobile scanners will be operational at the port of Port of Spain at Point Lisas by the end of November. The new mobile scanners were originally scheduled to arrive in August, but the Finance Ministry had to seek legal intervention regarding the scanners' delivery. Officials have stated that scanners will aid in curbing the entry of illicit items into the country. Currently, scanning for legal cargo at a seaport are being carried out by fixed scanners. Listen to this.
The scanners have been manufactured and are scheduled to be fully operational by next month. We also, these are the 4 mobile scanners at the ports of Port of Spain and Point Lisas. 2 will arrive in October and 2 in November. The expenditure in 2025 is to complete payments on that contract and also for the purchase of 2 pallet scanners and 2 van scanners. These are smaller scanners that will be used at smaller ports outside of Port of Spain and Point Lisas. So the provision is for different things. It's to complete the payment for the scanners, the 4 mobile scanners, the big ones, and also to purchase some smaller scanners, more mobile scanners for other ports in Trinidad.
Minister, any part of the allocation is for the maintenance going forward for these equipment, taking note of the challenges we do have with maintaining equipment?
My understanding is there is a maintenance element included in the contract, but I can get those details for you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
So viewers, hopefully by November we should have some scanners. Maybe that will help us in some illegal something from coming in. We don't know yet. We have to see. This is Trinidad. So we have in for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to tell you a little bit more about Real Talk and our financing after.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk. We are almost to the end of our show. We have about 2 minutes left, but I want to encourage you viewers. Our financing at Real Talk, let me tell you something, The fixed deposit, you could never go wrong. This is our boat building, viewers. We are on Coroni Savannah Road, number 14 Coroni Savannah Road in Chagonas. Is the building underneath, and the one on top is our credit union in San Fernando. So we have two pitiers, two locations. The first pitier on top is our credit union building in San Fernando. It's 25 Superior Street, San Fernando. And the second pitier underneath is 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas. So we at Real Talk Financing viewers, also, although we have credit union, we have money lending, at both business place, you can go and apply for a loan. They have 3 floors, credit union, financing, loan, fixed deposit. We are here in the financial sector. We are licensed, we are registered, and we offer the best interest rate on fixed deposit. The best interest rate. Also, you're looking for cash borrow and you don't have gold, you could have a vehicle. You don't have a vehicle, you have land. You don't have land, you have house. So if you're looking for cash borrow and the bank turn you down, contact us viewers. Our numbers will be on screen in the next few seconds. Contact our office. Inquire about our loan department. Inquire about financing. Inquire about fixed deposit. Inquire about opening a savings at our financial institution. So viewers, this is Real Talk. We have been on the air for about 7 to 8 years now. We've found our own program. We don't depend on nobody. And that is us. It's the grace of God. So we are out of time for tonight, viewers. But nevertheless, our rerun of this program is Monday coming next week. Remember, Friday on Real Talk does be a Fire Friday. So until we meet again, be safe, enjoy the weekend, and Monday night in your bedroom, we'll be right there. Good night.